I'm Shonda Scott, and pleased to announce that OAL Great Moments heard your call. Based on the contest results, Gary Payton is the OAL great you wanted to see. And what better place to catch up with the 9-time All-Star and OAL great is right at NBA All-Star Weekend in Los Angeles. So we packed up our bags and headed to LA to meet with Gary Payton, the Glove. In a moment, you will see excerpts from my conversation with Mr. Payton at our host hotel during All-Star Week, the Marriott in Marina del Rey. After leaving the Supersonics, Gary Payton played for the Los Angeles Lakers and then the Miami Heat, where he won the Covenant Prize at NBA Championship. But these are all stories you may have heard about Gary Payton's 17-year NBA career. But what you haven't heard are some of the stories the Glove shared with OAL Great Moments. For one, did you ever wonder where he got the nickname the Glove? Well, this is how the story goes.
Kevin Johnson at the time in 1993 was the premier guard of the league, him and John Stockton. We went to the conference finals against him at Phoenix. He was averaging almost about 27 a game during the regular season. I held him to 12 points a game in the series. So I get back to the hotel. We had just beat him in game 6. And my cousin called me on the phone. And he was like, Glove, Glove, what's up, Glove? I was like, you got the wrong number, and hung up the phone, right? So he called me back. He was like, cuz, it's me. He's like, man, your name is the Glove now, man. That's what it's going to be because you held Kevin Johnson like a baseball in the mitt. So I was like, that's pretty catchy, you know what I'm saying? So then we went back and they started making a lot of little articles and a lot of memorabilia stuff as the Glove. They started putting a big old thing, spread it out with the Glove. They was putting the Glove, Gary Payton on it, and then we got a thing like this. We started doing this. So it caught on. The NBA started catching on to it. They was making a lot of stuff around all arenas and stuff, and every time I came, they was like, oh, that's the Glove now.
During many of my interviews, I've met with several young athletes struggling to balance athletics and academics. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. OAL great Gary Payton had to overcome some of the same obstacles. Here's some advice from the NBA great. Up next, Gary Payton, in his own words.
I flunked almost everything in the 10th grade. I had to go back in the 11th and the 12th grade and get almost like 3.8. Then I had to, I just barely got above. It was only like a 2.2. At that time, colleges wasn't making their academics as high as they are now. And then the SAT, and then I flunked the SAT about 4 times. So the ACT is a more of a test that really we understand. And I passed it. I passed it with flying colors, and I got one of the highest scores in the nation because my father took me to classes every Saturday. And I did it for almost 2-3 months, and I did it. These kids don't understand that basketball is not going to be forever. You're going to retire when you're about 30-something years old. That's the prime of your life. You still got to you got to find another trade. You got to go to work now. I was fortunate to retire when I was 38 years old. Still, I'm in my prime of my life. I have to go and do something else. So we have to fall back on something and be smart about it. We get these millions of dollars and people say, okay, they make $100 million. That doesn't say anything. You got to understand that you got to manufacture that money to become somebody later on in your life. And that's what you have to do. You can't have the same lifestyle after you don't get checks every month for $500,000. You can't do it. You have to have something to fall back on and be smart about it. Save your money. Invest in things that you need to invest in. Just because you come out of Oakland, California in the neighborhood, that don't mean you have to be acting like a neighborhood kid. You can be smarter than that. And most of these kids that I deal with right now, I try to tell them that. I say, listen, we got to think about our future. We're going to make this money. You see money now. And that's all they do is see money now. So if you make $2 million and then you go buy a $6 million house, I don't think that's very smart because you're already in the hole $4 million. And it's not going to work. What if you break your leg and tear off an ACL and you can't play again? Now you got to fall back on something. And I learned that, and I got it from my father because he was right there. He was in my ear all the time. He'd come up to the school and whoop me in front of my friends. And I understand it now because that's what he wanted. He installed in me to become a better person.
I had a path really. I got in touch with my teachers at Skyline and whatever, and I asked them to let me know if the security guard, if he left class or if he cut or anything. I gave them my number, and anytime he left, they would call me. And every time they called me, I would come. I would catch him doing things, and he never knew when I was coming. Sometimes I chased him from under the hill, I chased him back in the classroom. And the last time that I really got him is I took him back to the room and I spanked him in front of the whole class. And that was an embarrassment for him. And the kids laughed and they teased him a lot. And so then he would always say, please don't tell my daddy, because he's gonna come up here. I told him that I would get him a new car if he complete his grades or whatever, if he do well. And we talked about grades, and we also, I gave him my number. If you made good grades, I would give him $400. And so he did that, and that kind of messed it up for him. I said, if you can do it, if I can give you money or whatever, or buy you a car, then you're gonna get your grades. And I explained it to him that it doesn't matter how well you can play ball or whatever. If you don't have the grades, you're not going to get it. And the only way you can get where you're going is to increase your grades. And he did that for me. And we got along really well.
On OAL Great Moments, we strive to get to the depths of our guest's character. During the interview with Gary Payton, we found that not only is Payton an OAL great on the court, he is even greater off the court.
I'm really into Make-A-Wish. That was my big thing, is Make-A-Wish. When these kids are getting cancer, you get a kid that's 9 years old or 10 years old and got cancer, that's devastating. You don't have your mind, you're not even a kid that understands, you ain't even in your life yet. And all of a sudden, you have your hair gone, you're sick all the time. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. I have never had fun. I never got to be on the playground to play with other kids and kick a ball, but I'm dying. So kids give up. Their minds are not strong like that. They give up, and then all of a sudden they just sit in the bed and just say, I'm dying. I don't even need to take these pills or this medicine. And I hate to see that, because I go to hospitals and I see that, and when they see me, they spark up. I say, hey, let's take this medicine. We can go do something, you know. Come on, let's go to the All-Star game. Let's do that. Let's get their mind and cheer them up a little bit and let them understand that it's still hope. I've had in my career, in a 17 years career, I had 17 of them. I brought them all to the All-Star game. 4 of them died on me. One who really broke my heart, because I had her since she was little. She had cancer. She grew up to be 18 years old. She died in my hands in Seattle. She waited till I got back off the road trip. She was struggling, and then as soon as we went and talked to her at the bedside, and her mother said, Gary's here. She grabbed my hand, and then 5 minutes later she died. She was waiting for me to get there, and I felt good about that. It crushed me very much, because I had a great relationship with her. I brought her to every game. I bought her season passes every year. And she was there. She was always, and brought her on the court all the time. And it was just a big loss to me. And that's when I really got into it a little bit more. And I started bringing a lot of kids. 13 of them survived, doing very well right now. We keep letters, and I keep things going to all of them. Just so recently, a girl named Ann. She just got me done, and they're giving her an award in Seattle in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be there. She wanted me to be there, so I saw her room. She's done painted murals up of me everywhere and stuff like that. And her mother was like, "You've been the greatest inspiration of my child's life, and you really basically saved her." And I said, "No, she saved herself. All I did was boost it up." Hey, I'm gonna give a shout out to Oakland for maybe making me the OAL's next great. You know, they want me to talk proper, y'all. So I can't tell you, I ain't gonna talk proper. I'm gonna go how I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So listen, man, love y'all. Hey, y'all know Oakland is my born and raised where I'm at. I'm gonna stay coming back. I'm gonna stay there with y'all. Thanks anyway. Peace.
Well, Oakland, you asked for it, and OAL Great Moments brought it. I'm Shonda Scott, and this has been an OAL Great Moment by popular demand on NBA great Gary Payton. That's a wrap. See you next time.